Alright, this is pt02 and this is part 2 of the Master Grade VO review. And in this part we're going to quickly go over VO's inner frame, and then go over the few weapons and accessories VO has, and give my final thoughts on the kit. So, starting off, this is VO's inner frame. Actually, I'm going to pick the camera up for this. And as you can see, he pretty much has a full internal frame, which I was very happy with. Now, it's not a 2.0 quality inner frame. Like I said earlier, VO's not a 2.0 master grade, so it doesn't really matter to me. Some of the parts are kind of hollow, like the front skirts. While they do have, actually, let me pull this off. While they do have very nice detail on the bottom, they are kind of hollow on the front. Same goes with the back skirt. It actually, you can see it better this way. It has very nice detail and some pipes and things on the underside, but on the back it's pretty much just empty. Same thing with the backpack. VO even has a small inner frame for the head, and which unfortunately likes to kind of fall apart. He does have a movable mono eye. There's a little tab right here you can turn, and the mono eye moves left and right, so you can do that. It's got a little clear visor piece that goes over the mono eye, and here you can kind of see the cockpit mechanism. Pull this out and the cockpit hatch opens up in two places. And yeah, it's actually a pretty nice inner frame, I think. Then again, I mean, to me, any master grade that has a full inner frame like this is definitely getting a plus. I really like the way these cables in the inner frame of the leg work, especially this one right here, how it moves around. Yeah. So anyway, I guess that's enough looking at the inner frame, because it is pretty much just the inner frame. So let's go ahead now and put all the armor back on and move on to VO's weapons and accessories. Alright, now that we've got all of VO's armor back on, we can go over his weapons. First off, we have a beam rifle, which is pretty simple. It's mainly gray, has some yellow cables here. It does have a energy pack down here that can be removed. It doesn't have any spare ones. This is the only energy pack he comes with. And it's got holes in the handle on both sides, so he can hold it in either hand. And it is a little bit tricky to get him to hold it, mainly because of the shape of VO's arm. His arms, like the rest of him, are very, very bulky. So it's a little bit difficult, but if you just mess with it for a little while, you should be able to hold his beam rifle just fine. Sometimes it might be at a funny angle, so you may want to, you know, tuck it up under his arm like that. And it may not look all that big compared to VO, but it's actually almost as tall as RX-78, as you can see, because VO is just a monstrously huge mobile suit. Alright, we also get 4 beam sabers. As I mentioned earlier, unfortunately we only get 2 beams. I borrowed 2 more yellow beams from another kit. I believe it was Master Grade Hyakushiki. Anyway, yeah, we get 4 handles, 2 beams, and just like the rifle, they have a hole in them, so VO can hold them in his hand. And actually, you know, on beam sabers, I don't even really bother with the peg, because they're so light that most of the time the mobile suit can hold them with no problem. And also, the arms that are up under the front skirts, They don't have pegs in the claws, but they do hold on to the beam sabers just fine. So if you have another master grade that has yellow beams, you can borrow those, and the O can have a 4 beam saber pose like so, which is actually pretty nice, I think. So anyway, let's see, also about the beam sabers, to store them, you'll see these 2 holes in the side skirts, and you'll take them and they just slide right up in there. At least there we go. Yeah. And they just fit right up into the side skirts. So anyway, oops, there goes his hand. I did forget to mention one thing in the first part of the review, something that I almost always forget, which is the cockpit hatch. And the O's cockpit hatch is actually pretty cool, I think. Here it is right here, and it actually slides out. So you can see from the side, the whole thing just slides out, and then the top, whoops, piece of armor came off. This top part opens, and then the bottom part opens, and very, very deep down in there, there's a little Scirocco. And I know you can't see it, but trust me, he's down there. And you can just close that up and push it back in. Pretty cool cockpit, if you ask me. So, one last part of the review is I want to do a couple of size comparisons. So here's the O compared to the RX-78, a pretty standard size mobile suit. And as you can see, the O is almost twice as tall, maybe not quite, maybe 50-75% taller than RX-78, but he's about 3 times as massive just because the O is so incredibly bulky. So much bigger than your standard mobile suit. Now for comparison to a larger mobile suit, I've brought along Master Grade Sinanju, and as you can see, they're roughly the same size as far as height is concerned, although the O is obviously still going to be bulkier than Sinanju here. Alright, so I think that just about covers everything on Master Grade DO, and now for my final thoughts on the kit. I guess I'll do some pros and cons. The pros are that the proportions for this kit are spot on. He looks exactly the way he should look. I mentioned earlier in some of my previous videos that Bandai had thought about making a Master Grade DO in the past, several years ago, and I've seen pictures of that prototype, and trust me, it looked pretty bad. It was very disproportionate. It just looked really, really bad, trust me. And I'm happy to say that the Master Grade DO that Bandai did make, this one right here, looks much, much better proportion-wise. He does have an inner frame. That's definitely another pro. Well, all Master Grades have inner frames almost. He has a full inner frame, I should say, including the head and the shoulder armor and the skirt armor and all that stuff. Even these big pieces of armor on the legs have inner frame to them. So that's definitely going to get Theo some extra marks in my book. The construction is not too difficult. It's not one of those really frustrating models to build like some of the 2.0s, while they are very nice and complex, can be a little bit frustrating to put together. The O is, his inner frame is simple but effective, and I think that is definitely worth mentioning. I like the decals on the O as well. That's one thing I did want to talk about. And coincidentally, the decals that come with Master Grade DO, which you can see all over the kit, are very similar to the decals that come with the real grade Gundam, which is a funny coincidence, seeing as how I was going for a real grade type color scheme with my VO. So that worked out pretty nicely for my case. Let's see, what else? I think that's about it for all the really positive things. Other than that, just overall good quality on Bandai's part. A few of the cons, some downfalls of the kit. Like I said, we only get 2 beams. For the price of this kit, I really don't think it would have been difficult for Bandai to throw in 2 more clear yellow beam sabers. That's another downside, is the price. It is, what is it again? 12,000 yen? 1,300 yen? I can't remember. But either way, he is a bit pricey. I was willing to pay it just because I've been wanting a Master Grade VO for several years, and I was willing to fork out that kind of money to get something that had been on my wish list for a very long time. So if you're a fan of VO, definitely try and pick this guy up. If you're a fan of Zeta Gundam or the Universal Century, you might also want to consider VO. However, if you're not a fan of the Universal Century, if you're one of those people that like Seed and 00, you might want to skip on this kit just because of its price. And if you just absolutely hate VO's design, then yeah, don't even bother. So overall, I definitely recommend this guy if you're a fan of Zeta Gundam and the Universal Century, and I'll definitely give this kit a thumbs up despite its price, which I think is the main con for a lot of people for this guy is the price. Yet, like I said earlier, if you're really a fan of the series and the mobile suit, then it may be worth it. If not, go out and look for a discount. Hobby Link Japan's having sales all the time, so you may be able to pick up VO when he's 30-40% off. So I guess that about does it for the review of Master Grade VO, and I will see you guys next time.